Pat Barry did like his best Ronaldo act on the Viking, just kicking and kicking. That's impressive to watch a guy basically submit and kind of have to quit because his legs got destroyed.
Yeah, tell everybody there's a lot of like there's a very powerful undertone. You can hit somebody unconscious. There's nothing that can be done about that. You can be on top of someone and the ref stop you from hitting them. They can't do anything about that. But if you hit someone hard enough to where they make the decision of not wanting to go on, that's some serious power right there.
And you see how much he's getting hurt, because I don't know if he tore something, but it kind of seemed like he did.
I've been kicking people for long enough to where I can tell when a good kick lands.
Yeah.
I can feel it, and then you can sense the other person. Like the very first kick that hit him, like the facial expression that he gave it, he went, what the? What was somebody shooting at me? Like, I mean, but by the third one that hit him, it was done. I mean, they quickly changed his mind. He didn't have to, which was a good decision on his part, because the next kick was going to blow his head off. Like, there was a good decision on his part to say, you know what, I don't have to find out how bad this is going to get. I was only going to keep kicking his leg until it fell.
That's scary when you hear a guy say he's going to kick your leg off. So, training-wise, what do you do now? Because obviously you've been kickboxing forever. Do you just solely drill the wrestling, the submissions?
We've been doing wrestling and jiu-jitsu nonstop every day. That's the hardest stuff in the world, because I mean I'm competing against guys who have been wrestling their entire life and who are starting to strike. You know, versus I'm the other way around. I've been striking forever, and now I'm learning how to wrestle, and that's nonstop wrestling and jiu-jitsu. Army, the Red Army, that's it. We got Red Shea from my jiu-jitsu coach, and that's all we've been doing, like twice a day, every day.
So how does Red do against you? He's a smaller guy, a little bit smaller. I know he's cutting down from 205, but in terms of trying to defend takedowns against him, are you still kind of having a rough time, or is it getting better?
Yes, Red is ridiculous. And I would like to say, I'm getting better. Red is ridiculous, because the better I get, the better he does.
Right.
Like, I mean, so he's only showing me a part of his game, and I'm working with that. So as I grow, he's turning it up. So I feel like as if I'm not advancing at all, even though we're both going up. Yeah, no, Red is a lot stronger than I am.
So last time we talked, we got into the size. You know, you're not a tall guy, you're a thick guy. You know, 225, 230, low 230s.
244.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that what you weighed in the last time?
Well, actually, I'm 235.
Okay. Why the jump in weight?
Because we started wrestling really hard with Ben Rothwell, and he's 300 pounds.
There you go.
So you have no choice but to you do explosive wrestling. You have no choice but to get stronger. Like, I'm a lot more solid.
So you think that's what you're going to weigh roughly?
Probably 240. Well, by the time the fight comes around, I might be back down to 240, man. I'm nervous.
All right. Talking about the shorter, smaller heavyweights, the guys who aren't 6'5" and 260. Do you think there's going to be kind of a run here? I don't know how much UFC is looking for guys who are in that 220 to 240 range, but as a fan, as you just said, I like to see the striking, but I like to see it on a high level. I don't like to see just the big, bulky guys going for takedowns.
Well, right, the big, bulky guys going for takedowns, throwing really ugly, powerful punches. That is the one downside, is that there are guys who are so big that they don't have to punch or kick correctly to hurt you. You know what I mean? So that's a disadvantage to me, because I'm trying to make the striking as good as possible, really put on a show. And they say I'm too small for heavyweight and whatnot, but I mean, Tyson was too small for heavyweight too, right? I mean, he was shorter than everybody.
Well, I would say Rashad's too small for 205 height-wise, but he seems to be doing all right.
And that's the thing that people don't understand. They want me to cut down to light heavyweight. If I cut down to light heavyweight, I'm going to be the smallest 205er, because no one's 5'11". Everybody light heavyweight is 6'3". I mean, they're all taller than I am. So I think the only weight category that I'll fit in is 170. I saw, and they still have guys who are 6 feet tall and 170. I'm 5'11" and a half. I've got big shoes on right now.
Yeah, there you go.
You know what I mean? But I mean, I'm not a small guy. And I'll also say that the hardest fights I've ever had were against guys who were shorter than I am.
Right.
That's the hardest fights I've ever had. So I mean, I can only imagine that those fights are hard for everybody else. I'm like Mighty Mouse in the ring.
You've become a little bit of an internet sensation. You got to tell me what this deal is, because I'm seeing this guy dancing. He's doing whatever it is. What is the Techno Viking?
Yeah.
Where did this come from?
We were just Techno Viking is the thing. He's like an MMA superhero that we saw on YouTube. He's all over the place. Everybody knows who he is, man. He's this big, just big guy. He's a superhuman being,
right,
from what I see and read. So I'm just fooling around in a barbershop. Guy videotaped it and threw it on YouTube, just as a joke to make fun of me.
Right.
It blew up into this big major thing, man. I mean, the Techno Viking has a major following, man. There's like Techno Viking gangs roaming the streets.
It's gotten nuts.
Yeah.
So what's the fan reaction?
They love
You
it.
get all positive fan reaction from something like that?
Yeah.
'Cause
Well, I mean,
sometimes-
of course, they have some
sometimes-
people who say, "Don't Lord Viking is going to thrash you and he's going to kill you with his eye lasers and whatnot." But no, people really they like the fact that someone acknowledged it, or I mean, they think it was hilarious. I don't know, and they're all expecting it soon. I told them yes, but not as long as I'm on an undercard, because they don't show the walkout to undercards. It's only going to be a main card thing. So a lot of people are expecting it on Saturday, but it's not going to happen. As long as I'm on an undercard, I'm not going to do it.
This guy's going to be like the Phil Baroni of entrances now.
Yeah,
2009.
I told him I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. I'm expecting Saturday somebody's going to throw a bottle at me when I don't do it. Like, somebody's going to be unhappy, man. We're going to get booed all the way to the ring.
You got to make sure you win, though.
Oh,
I think I watched a fight last week in Canada, and both guys came out and did some kind of dance, and one guy did like an awful robot, the other guy did the Jabberwockies, and the guy who did the robot it was ugly.
Yeah, well,
you got to back it up.
That's one of those things where I think it's worth the risk. I mean, imagine that we do it, the crowd goes crazy, get in the ring and win. Oh man, we going down in history forever.
Next fight after that, to come out with 3 dancing guys and wigs. And, You're not going to do that one, huh?
No, not yet. No.
That seemed like almost overly choreographed to the point where you gas yourself coming in.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. I mean, that would be the only warm up we need for the ring. By the time we get to the ring, I'm not even going to fight anymore.